Okay.
Well.
All right. So do you want to do... We got to clap.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Idiot's Guide to Horror.
Counteracting the toxic culture surrounding horror fandom and breaking down your favorite horror movies. With you, as always, are your hosts, Kara Beth Popovich.
And Christopher Lorna Haberman. So everybody turn off the lights, grab your passports, your travel journals, and your scythes, and let's get ready to dissect movie.
I love dissecting movie.
Guys, we were off for a couple weeks. 3 weeks? 4 weeks? 5 weeks?
3, I think. Maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't know. It was some time.
We've been off for some time, and this script was written a month ago. You can see Gary in the background. If you don't know who Gary is, get out of there. We have acquired a new dog.
Yes.
Oh no, you can see this whole microphone too.
Oh, well, it's fine. Whatever. They know that we are making a podcast.
We are recording.
So, movie.
Yeah, this one.
Is Hostel Part 2.
Directed by Eli Roth.
Directed by boyfriend of the pod, Eli Roth.
Stacy didn't write down the year, so...
I believe it was 2008. I'm gonna double check that, Stacy.
Yeah, Stacy's We've actually fired Stacy.
2007.
I graduated high school that year.
I graduated high school the next year.
Slacker.
A little younger.
Well, Stacy's fired. She didn't finish the script. But we're gonna do our best forthwith.
So you can watch Hostel Part 2 on Tubi for free with ads. You could also watch Hostel Part 2 on Stars without ads if you have Stars. You can watch Hostel Part 2 by going to your local gas station, perusing through the $1 DVD bin and grabbing it out of it, and then taking it home to your probably non-existent at this point in your life DVD player. It is the second part of the Hostel series, and the last time that Eli Roth made one of them.
Have you seen the third one?
I have.
Thoughts?
Bad. Takes place in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the movie.
Yeah, it's not good.
Gary.
So...
There's a bone in there.
I see.
Clarence's bone he's looking for.
So, do you want to give it back of the box?
Picture it, if you will. The year is 2007. Much like me, you're graduating high school. You want to be really cool, so you rent the sequel to the movie you've been bragging about for years.
Bragging.
Yeah. Yeah, Hostel? I've seen... Yeah, of course I've seen Hostel. Yeah.
I made it through Hostel.
Yeah, easy.
I'm tough and cool.
One time I ate a whole bowl of pudding while watching Human Centipede Part 1. That's a true story.
Never let the world forget.
No. I'm hardcore. But you're renting a movie and you want something to be just as misogynistic as the first one. Well, you're out of luck.
I was about to say too fucking bad.
Yeah.
You want it to be just as homophobic as the first one. Too bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're here, we're queer. This is the only movie you're getting in June.
I was about to say, we planned a whole Pride Month and life took a poop on...
We literally did plan out a whole Pride Month.
We planned out a whole Pride Month and life took a poop on it.
Yeah, so you'll never know which 3 other movies we picked for June.
Well, maybe we're going to be gay in July, too.
Maybe we're going to be gay all year.
Maybe.
So get over it.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Back of the box.
You pick the movie up. You're like, okay, I saw the first one. How bad could this one be? You flip it over, and for some reason, you're just reading the back of the box, even though you know you're going to rent it anyway. And it says, Beth, played by Lauren German, Lorna, Heather Matarazzo, and Whitney Bijou Phillips, 3 young American women traveling abroad in Rome, decide to take a weekend excursion. Lured from their intended destination by a beautiful acquaintance, Vera Jordanova.
Good job.
Oh, God. The women anticipate a stay at a luxurious spa. Instead, they become pawns in a grisly game designed to entertain wealthy deviants from around the world.
Spoiler warning, as usual, we're going to talk about this movie in depth up to and including the ending. So if you haven't seen this movie, please pause this episode and watch it, if you feel up to it. If not, just like the last time, we get it. A funny story about this time, my mother just watched Hostel Part 2 with us, kind of.
Well, she was in the same room with us.
She was in the same room with us. I don't know how much of it she actually took in. But I was impressed. She held her own.
Yeah.
I hope we didn't destroy her. But it is, I would think that there's parts of it that are gorier than the original, aside from, like, the original has the eyeball scene.
In the Achilles heel scene.
The Achilles heel scene.
Oh, I just watched somebody get their Achilles heels cut the other day. What movie was that? Oh, it was Someone Inside Your House.
That movie was really good. I like that.
What's wrong with you?
I know, all of you hate fun. You all hate fun on Letterboxd, I guess?
You don't want another teen slasher? Who done it?
I know I do.
Yeah, it was Knives Out minus the little Nazi boy masturbating in the bathroom, which is a joke if you've seen Knives Out.
Yeah. So first of all, I would just like to point out that nobody's names are Lorna, Beth, and Whitney. If you have a friend group where everybody's name is that crazy, I don't believe that you're real.
Yeah.
So, please feel free to prove me wrong. You can email us or whatever. I probably won't look at it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I need you to email us with a picture of each of you, your passport photos, proving that your names are Lorna, Beth, and Whitney, and then what we're going to do is sell you to rich strangers over the world.
Which, if you don't know, will make sense in about 20 minutes' time.
Mm-hmm.
So, movie facts. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
I'll start, because I already can see all the spelling errors I have.
Ithas.
So movie fact 1A. It has been cut. Okay. So I just copied and pasted this, apparently from Wikipedia, and I didn't have anything context. There's no context. So, in Germany, the Heather Matarazzo scene was cut from many of the versions of this film. It has been cut in Germany, and the German extended version, in which Lorna's torture and death scene is still not completely shown, has been banned in Germany. I can't say that word because I say it subsequently. A court in Munich ruled the release of the film in its cut or uncut form to be punishable by law. So.
That is, it's crazy because that's not even, like, the most insane part of this movie.
No, but it does hurt me deep down.
It does. It's painful. Also, it's just, like, pretty, like, I don't know. We don't get a lot of context, and, like we don't even see Whitney die.
Mm-mm. No, or...
Oh, wow, I really spoiled this. I told you. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, or the first guy from the last one.
Right. So the film recouped triple its budget in the theatrical release. Together, both Hostel films cost a total of $15 million and grossed a total of $115 million theatrically. Fuck, I can't talk today.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Worldwide, making the Hostel films one of the most profitable horror franchises. We were all really hungry for violence in the early aughts.
And we are hungry for it again today.
True. Bring back the guillotine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't, because that's Squid Games. I have something to tell you about Squid Game. But
you can't yet.
I can't yet.
I haven't watched it.
I just started it this morning, guys. Squid Game, Umbrella Academy Season 4. Those are some non-horror recommendations for you. So take that if you will.
Supposed to save them to the end.
I'll repeat them at the end. So Heather Matarazzo had been sober for about a year when she arrived in Prague and attended a get-to-know-you party prior to shooting. She claimed that she was constantly offered pills by the producers to help her beat the jet lag and get some sleep, but she repeatedly turned them down. She also alleged that Bijou Phillips found out she was sober. She pushed her against a wall and choked her for about 20 seconds and said, "I'm going to make you relapse on this film." Matarazzo said she was too embarrassed to tell the director or producers about the incident. So,
do we have other reports of Bijou Phillips just, being a dick? Did you look into it?
No.
Because, I'm curious as to whether or not Bijou Phillips is just, a terrible person. And, if she is, then, why have we allowed her to be famous for as long as she has been semi-famous?
Well, she apologized for gay-shaming Daniel Franzese.
Okay.
Which means, originally she
had to have done something.
Right. There's a whole Reddit called Hollywood Receipts, and this is a bunch of Bijou Phillips receipts.
Okay.
So, on your free time, everybody, Google Bijou Phillips. Which I just spelled Ouija Phillips.
Alright, well, for Axelle's nude scene, Vera Jordanova's nipples were CGI, which is insane because they showed them for 0.5 seconds.
We looked
You
really
didn't
hard.
even need to show them.
Mm-hmm.
We got the point when she was taking the robe off that she's naked.
Correct. Yeah, and we had already just seen a very large uncut dick.
So they spent money on CGI nipples
Mm-hmm.
for an unnecessary nipples scene.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but boyfriend of the pod, Eli Roth.
Yes.
Um,
He's a boob man.
he is a boob man. So,
Yeah.
it was
He is
money
a
well
boob
spent.
man.
Okay. Oh, good, you just pronounced his name. Both Roger Bart and Richard Berge,
Birdie!
Richard Berge, who played Stuart and Todd in this film, were also in Desperate Housewives, named George and Carl, which is what my notes refers to them as.
And then Ruggero Deodato, who was the director of the controversial 1980 film Cannibal Holocaust, which is, some of us on the pod are fans of that. Would you consider yourself a Cannibal Holocaust fan?
I've watched it twice this year.
Okay, so yeah, we're fans of Cannibal Holocaust. But he has a brief cameo as a cannibal in the movie because Eli Roth
Wants to suck him.
Eli Roth is a little obsessed with Italian horror filmmakers of the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah.
If you've ever seen The Green Inferno,
It's Cannibal Holocaust.
it is Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
So, you might be able to tell.
He does not want my lap anymore.
Okay, well that's all the movie facts. We're keeping it short for you. We're 12 minutes in. So get over it. And enjoy my notes.
Okay.
Which you do not have to read.
Actually...
They're really dumb. It says, Stuart with a man bag. Is that mouthwash? I don't remember, because I watched this movie when I took these notes 3 weeks ago now. Oh no,
so,
it starts with a man in his bag.
I don't think that it's also... Yeah, I was going to say, it's not Stewart.
No, it was Paxton.
It's just some guy burning, pictures of women in clothes and stuff. But then it starts with, we see Paxton on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Paxton was, as you put it, as you explained it just to my mother just now, that Paxton is the final girl from the first Hostel.
Mm-hmm. He was, yeah.
He is on the train, he has fallen asleep, the cops are like, hey, wake up. And then he's in the hospital and the cops are interrogating him. And he starts to get nervous, they lock the door. And then they attack him and cut him from chest to tummy and start pulling out his intestines.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out that it's a dream.
Okay, so here was my flaw. Here was the flaw I found in Hostel. Is when, how did Paxton, he didn't have a passport, they kept it.
Right.
So how's he back in the States? Oh, we didn't get there yet. He's back I'm assuming back in the United States.
Yeah. So he's living, he's hiding away with his girlfriend, who's played by Jordan Ladd, who is a seasoned horror veteran at this point. And she's like, it's so annoying that you have PTSD after you watched a bunch of people die and you almost got killed yourself and then you had to kill someone.
Mm-hmm. She's a real Michael from Queer as Folk.
Michael? There's nothing wrong with Michael. Your read is incorrect. I don't know what you are seeing that I am not seeing.
I think we're just too similar, Michael and myself, and I hate it. That whiny little bitch. With his little dog.
But anyway, yeah, she's like, you're over-exaggerating.
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous. I don't even want to be with you. I just felt bad for you because you watched a bunch of people die, but, get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the next day there's, she sees somebody, trimming hedges or whatever, and then she's like, huh, weird. I didn't call anybody to trim the hedges. And then she walks into the kitchen and Paxton's headless corpse is sitting there with the cat licking it.
Yeah, well, the cat got hungry.
Yeah. And there's a box being delivered to Sasha who is the head of the elite hunting club, and it has Paxton's head inside of it.
How do you think it kept him so, like, pristine?
They have all the money in the world.
Yeah. And then there was a T-Mobile commercial from the guys with scrubs. Yeah, both of them.
Zach Braff and Donald Faison they are doing T-Mobile commercials together now. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
They have their podcast about it's a Scrubs rewatch.
Fake Doctors.
Podcast. Fake Doctors, Real Friends. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but are they sponsored by 18? I feel like I'm sponsored by nobody. I feel like I'm paying for.
I was gonna say we're not sponsored by anybody.
We're hemorrhaging money for this podcast, guys. Yeah, you're not getting shit from me, Mr. Pepper.
Anyway, after the T-Mobile commercial that came up on Tubi, there we meet the central characters of this iteration of Hostel, which are 3 women who are in Rome studying art.
Because why not?
Because, I mean, like, we can only assume. We're never really told that they're studying art, but when we meet them, they're doing, like, sketches of, sexy naked people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
And then we meet the reason that we are doing this for Pride Month, which is Beth.
Mm-hmm.
And Beth is obviously in love with the female model,
but
Axelle.
not too in love with her. But we'll get to that eventually. But yeah, they're drawing. We see a penis. We see somebody else's nipples.
Yeah.
The naked woman whose nipples don't exist asks Beth for her picture somehow, or offers to buy it.
Her name is Axelle.
Yeah, but not like the spreadsheet.
No, it's like Axelle.
Like axe, like something you would use to decapitate somebody with?
Yes.
With an L at the end of it. I'm so funny.
You're very funny. That's worse. Like,
I'm dripping with wit.
Happy Pride.
I'm like a Wes Anderson movie.
Anyway, so she gives her the drawing, and then she's like, "Oh, I should buy you a drink or something." And she's like, "Oh, maybe we're going on a train to Prague right now." So they go on a train to Prague right now.
How long of a train ride that would be? I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah, I was gonna say I have not. The last time I was in Italy taking a train to Prague, it took about 2 minutes and a handshake. I don't know.
Yeah, well, public transit these days. And speaking of public transit these days, on the train for no reason whatsoever is Axelle. She sent over drinks to Whitney and Beth, so they just go looking for drugs in somebody else's car.
Something that's like kind of important to note is that Beth and Lorna don't get along. I mean, not Beth and Lorna, Whitney and Lorna.
Surprise. Lorna's coming along to Prague, and Whitney's upset about it.
Yeah, because Whitney's kind of a bitch, and Lorna is nice
and angel,
whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
So Lorna is left in the train car alone to write in her journal while Beth and Whitney go party in the bar cart.
Mm-hmm.
And when they are in the bar cart, they find Axelle, and then there's also like this guy, and Whitney's like, "Do you have any drugs?" And he's like, "Yeah, come with me." And so they go to this train car that is seemingly in another part of the world, because like all of the other train cars are like nice and clean, and then you like walk into like a developing train car,
right?
And like
it's graffitied for some reason.
Yeah, it's like graffitied. It's dark.
There's a man with a knife stabbing a picture of a model's vagina.
They're all standing around a barrel that's on fire, and there's a chain link fence, and for some reason like the entire tone of the train changes.
Yeah. Out the window you can see kids playing stickball.
Yeah. But yeah, then they kind of sexually harass them, and then they leave.
Because you never call Beth the C word.
Yeah, do not call Beth the C word. One of them does, and then she headbutts him?
No, she just yells.
Yeah.
She headbutts somebody later, I think. Who can remember? The movie we literally just turned off moments ago.
So they're like running away from these guys, and they go back to their train cart, and all of Lorna's stuff is on the floor. And she's like, some guy just came in here and stole my iPod, which, like, why? Why did he just come in and steal her iPod? And
well, this is 2007, and that iPod cost $100,000.
well, right, but he was part of the Elite Hunting Club, and you find out later that he's part of the Elite Hunting Club, so, like, why was it particularly, like, Axelle already knew them. She already had a reason to go back to their car. So, like, why did he have to steal the iPod to give her an excuse to, like, come be like, hey, did you lose this iPod?
Plot hole.
It's not just a plot hole, it's just excessive plot detailing.
Also, there's a picture of them together later.
Yeah,
in
like,
the same outfits they were wearing on the train.
Exactly. It's just excessive plot detailing. Like, there's absolutely no reason that,
it's
like...
just like you said about Stephen King describing something for 500 pages.
It's almost like Eli Roth didn't have a lot of material to make this scary until it got gory. But anyway, so Axelle stays the night with them, and she convinces them, instead of going to Prague, to go to Slovakia because the hot springs are the best in the world.
But we Googled it this morning.
It's 2 hours ago, and
they don't know what time it is for us. This gets released at midnight,
and it's not there's no hot springs really. I mean, like, they're fine, I guess, but
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, do you want to go to Slovakia and go visit the hot springs?
No.
Yeah, I'm very busy that week too.
Yeah, me same. So they all agree to change their course to Slovakia, and they're like, do you know a place? And then we wind up at the hostel from the first movie, and everything repeats itself. They're watching Pulp Fiction again. The same fucking guy is behind the counter. But this time, when they hand over their passports, we see what he does with them. Is that Eli Roth does a little bit of an exposition dump, where you see the process of how the Elite Hunting Club works. Or, like, the guy takes the passports, scans them, and then uploads them to an auction website, and we just see, like, wealthy businessmen from all over the world, like...
using their Palm Pilots.
Yeah, using their 2007 cell phones and PDAs, and betting on these women. And eventually, the bet, for at least one of them, we don't know which one, goes to Stuart and Todd. Stuart is Roger Bart, who... I mean...
is George from Desperate Housewives. Yeah.
I don't know. I know that I know him from things. I just don't know what they are right now.
He was married to Bree. And Carl was married to the other one, Susan, whatever her name is in real life.
Right.
Oh, God,
but Stuart, like, says he needs to, tell his wife and family that he's, like, going on a business trip or to meet with a client or whatever. And then, Todd is just like, fuck it, whatever, I'm just, I'm out, I'm doing this. He wants to be respected as a guy who has killed someone. He wants to be feared.
And you know how white men feel respected, they commit a murder.
Yes.
So.
That is the way.
I forgot to add cishet, but
Right, so the girls go to a harvest festival.
We learn a little bit about Beth. That she could buy all of Slovakia if she wanted to because her mother died when she was 12 and left her everything instead of her father.
They don't know, like, they don't tell us what her mother was or what she did, but, like, later on, which I guess, like, we'll get to it, but we find out, like, the extent of the wealth, and it's like, but why?
Plot. He was like, okay, now what do I do? Oh, make her a millionaire.
A billionaire.
Make her a billionaire.
I'm guessing, like, at least, because we'll get there.
Her mother was Elon Musk.
Her name is actually X12. Yay.
I hate Elon Musk.
All cool people do.
Oh yeah, so they're there. We see the bubblegum gang. They get a paper. I don't know. Oh, did we talk about the TGI Friday holders?
Oh yeah, when Stuart and Todd get to Slovakia, they go to a hotel and they get, like, pagers that look like the little buzzers from TGI Friday. What is that?
Oh, I'll show you live on the air.
Okay.
Is it dead? I'll cut this out. I'm not cutting anything out.
It looks like Chris has like a cute little pink camera. Oh.
Here, try to get in the frame. And then it'll print it out right here.
What the fuck?
But we'll see that live on the air here in a second.
I want it for my new fridge.
Yeah. But anyway, they get their buzzer. Everyone's sucking a dick. People are playing with swords. The guys get matching tattoos. Stuart is very against it.
Stuart does not want to get the tattoo. He's like, I'm not that guy. Like, his whole line, his catchphrase this entire movie is, I'm not that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my wife will be mad.
Yeah, it's been really hard to explain a tattoo.
And then the other guy's like, well, how do you explain gonorrhea you brought back last year?
And he's like, oh, I can't believe you would use that against me. Anyway, there's a whole dialogue about it, but then Stuart ends up eventually... Stuart ends up eventually getting the tattoo.
Yeah, of course.
And then they go to the Harvest Festival.
They bomb for apples.
Yeah.
Do they?
No.
But
it seems like something that they would do. But anyway, the most important things here are that Lorna doesn't drink normally, and Whitney tricks her into drinking a very strongly alcoholic cider.
Mm-hmm. Just like Bijou Phillips promised she would.
Right. And... Go ahead.
Well... So Lorna doesn't drink. So she's now dancing with some nice man with a ponytail.
A nice man.
Well, you know, subjective. Another man comes over to Beth, asks her to dance with the largest teeth I've ever seen on any human being ever, which is plot specific.
Why is it plot specific?
I don't think it is, actually. But then he takes his teeth and goes away. The desk guy is like, "Is that guy bothering you?" And she's like, "No, he's asking me to dance." And he's like, "He'll never bother you ever again." So we're like, "Okay, cool, not what we asked." And then Lorna's like, "I'm going on this boat with this man I just met who doesn't speak any English." And Beth is like, "You promised me you're not going on this boat." And she goes,
I know, she just laughs hysterically. She's like, I'm gonna do it.
Cut to Lorna on a boat with this man who doesn't speak any English, being screamed at by Beth as they float down the river.
And Beth's like, you promised. And she's like, I know.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Why is this not printing my pictures out?
It doesn't want me to have one.
I'm gonna sneeze, I can feel it.
Bless you. Bless you.
Oh god, cut that out of the podcast.
Stacy? Oh, we fired her.
Stacy's... We sold her.
Right, yes, that's correct. We sold her to the Elite Hunting Club.
The two pictures print out now. So anyway, while we were busy... Oh god, am I gonna sneeze again?
Bless you.
Oh, I wish I was dead. So anyway, Beth's on... Nope, Lorna's on a boat. Driving full speed down the river.
Driving.
You know.
Rowing.
Rowing full speed down the river. Gets out. Her friend lights a cigarette, clubs her over the head.
And, well, two other guys club her over the head, and then he throws her into the water.
Yeah. I used this literally yesterday. So she's clubbed and drowned, but not dead.
Mm-hmm. And then we don't see her again for a little bit. Meanwhile, Beth meets George by... Did we already go over that? Beth meeting George by accident? Stuart?
I just have his name in here as George.
Yes, my bad, yeah. Beth meets Stuart by accident because the creepy guy from the front desk gives her a beer and she throws it over her shoulder because she knows there's probably something in it.
Yeah.
And
never leave your beer unattended.
Right, and she throws it on Stuart. Is something wrong?
I'm sorry I'm ruining the podcast, guys.
You're not ruining it. Everything's okay. You're doing a great job, sweetie. But she throws her drink on Stuart, and then they meet, and there's sort of like an awkward, almost flirtation that happens. And then Beth is ready to like round up the troops and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is that Whitney is very drunkenly dancing with a guy, Miroslav, yeah, who we presume to be part of this, and then we find out later.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
Yeah, she should have fucked him when she had the chance. He looked like what's his face from Harry Potter.
Victor Crumb.
Victor Crumb.
He did look like Victor Crumb.
And he could get it.
But yeah, Beth tries to take Whitney home, and Whitney's like kind of protesting because she wants to sleep with Miroslav.
Mm-hmm.
And Beth is like, "Nah, you're drunk. Like, come with me now." And she sees two dudes like frantically throwing a bunch of somebody's stuff into a trash bag. And then we hard cut to what happened to Lorna.
If you're squeamish, skip ahead.
Oh wait, no, because we also get the talk between Stuart and Todd.
Fine.
Where Todd's saying like, you're gonna be respected. Like, people that, murder people are respected.
Mm-hmm. Just look back at all the other murderers you know.
Yeah.
And think how highly you respect them.
And Stuart's like, okay, like, I'm not backing down. Like, let's do this. And then the other girls, Lorna, Beth, and Axelle are at the hot springs. But Lorna isn't, because Lorna is hanging upside down, bound and gagged. And there are men lighting candles. She's strung up above a bathtub. And she has been purchased by a woman who has an Elizabeth Bathory fantasy. And this is, hands down, the most famous scene from this movie.
It's the fucking poster.
It's notorious.
Mm-hmm. Google Hostel Part 2, and this is the poster for the movie.
Right.
At least the second poster for the movie, because the first one was just Bijou Phillips' nipple.
Bijou Phillips' nipple. Anyway. I
guess it's no nipples. I guess it's just mostly Lorna.
Yeah.
Hung upside down.
Yeah, but Lorna is being... I see. Lorna is...
Nippling. Oh, no, sorry.
Lorna's hung upside down. There is a woman who has purchased her. She enters wearing, like, a dramatic, crimson cape.
Yeah, like the kind of thing you would picture an old vampire to wear.
Yeah. And then she, like, descends down the stairs into the bathtub and lays down and starts, like, teasing Lorna with the scythe. And then she starts, like, making gashes and, like, bathing in the blood before she finally grabs a smaller scythe.
Why does she have so many?
I don't know.
I have so many questions about Hostel Part 2 that never get answered. Number 1. Is each room drastically different like this?
Yes. It seems that way. We didn't see that in the last one, but...
No, it's just a chair strapped to a floor in the last one. In this one, sure, there are chairs strapped to floors, but there's also giant bathtubs and, like, big electrical fences.
Right.
Consistency, Eli. So anyway, she's dead. Never coming back. And we all feel sad about it, and it's still banned in Germany. So now back at the hot spring, which, did I write hot tub? I don't know. Beth is with her new boyfriend. Who? I think I met Whitney.
You did mean Whitney, because Whitney is with Miroslav.
Axelle is kissing up on Beth.
She's just kind of, like, rubbing on her.
Then, for some reason, Beth looks around and she's all alone. So I'm not sure if she fell asleep or what. But she's now just all alone. And everyone's gone. Which is what it means when I said she's all alone. Everyone's gone. So she goes to the shower. Nobody's there. Back to the lockers. Her lock's been cut off. Her stuff is all gone. And there's now a man following her around the hot springs. Then 2 men. Then 4 men. And then she runs around through all of the barbed wire. Why does the hot spring have so much barbed wire around it? If the picture doesn't print out, I'm leaving. I can also just take the memory card out and print it out that way.
Oh.
So now she jumps over. She meets the large tooth man who tried to help her, but he's all beaten up now. His teeth are broken. So she runs through the forest, and the bubblegum boys are beating her with sticks. And that's when Sasha and Axelle find them. They get into a very fancy car. Sasha threatens to kill the kids with a gun for a while. He actually does go forward and kill one of the children. I'm going to throw this out a window. Maybe he's dead. Maybe he just needs...
Charged. Yeah.
So, Sasha murders a poor young baby. And I don't know if I have a USB.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, yeah, Sasha murders a kid from the bubblegum gang. We don't see it happen on camera.
But
he uses a silencer.
Implied.
Yeah, well, it's not just heavily implied. They show the kid, like, lying on the ground.
That's how heavily it's implied.
Blood spilling out. So, yeah, I don't know if that's to prove a point or to be like, she's ours or whatever. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I can't tell if they're working together or not. Sasha and the Boys.
It doesn't seem that way.
Which is the name of my new band, Sasha and the Boys. Yeah, so.
Same, honestly.
We're ready for the police covers.
So anyway, Axelle gets Beth. Axelle spreadsheet gets Beth back into the car, and she takes her back to her house, and Beth starts to notice suspicious things, like photos of
the random old man who stole Laura's iPod.
Yeah, the guy who stole Laura's iPod on the train, and also just Svetlana and Natalia from the first movie.
Where's Alexei? Maybe they didn't like each other.
Maybe. So, at a certain point, like, Axelle's like, get some sleep, and Beth is like, okay, and she lays down, and then as soon as Axelle shuts the door, Beth is like, she gets up, and she starts, like, roaming about the house, and then she sees that there are men coming to get her, and Axelle is looking at her with amusement in her eyes.
While that's going on, simultaneously, we see Whitney and another bunch of girls in cages. She's tied to a chair. A woman comes in and shushes her, takes her gag off, makes her pretty for the client, uncuffs her, and then she bites her fucking nose off.
Whitney bites the woman's nose off.
Yeah.
And then starts to run out, but just keeps hitting gates.
And now, this is when Beth finds the headroom, which is a room full of heads, if you didn't get my meaning. Then we cut to George, Stuart, and Todd's pagers going off. So, that's a thing. Their table's ready at Applebee's, and, you can be seated. They put on their aprons, they go to our rooms. For some reason, Todd is, like, shaking around power tools to Whitney, but the cord's not long enough, so he can't cut her face off. Or
whatever he's trying to do, but he does, like, he injures her very badly by, like, her hair gets caught in the power saw, and it, like, he, like, rips some of her hair out, like, from the scalp, and it's, like, just, like, squirting blood.
I think he got her face, too.
Yeah, and he freaks out because the violence is too much for him, and he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore, so he tries to leave.
So I guess he'll never be respected.
Yeah, he refuses to leave, and so he gets killed.
Yeah, they sick the dogs on him. The dogs eat him to death.
Yeah.
So, there's that. However, we also have Stuart, which is his name. He is in there with Beth, and he's, like, shushing her. He's like, everything's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna kill you. Here, take my wig off. It's me, Stuart, the whole time.
Take my wig off?
He took something off his head. So they're hugging. George isn't that kind of guy, and she knows he's not that kind of guy. Then he punches her in the face. So maybe he was that kind of guy anyway. So he chains her back up to the chair. There's a knock on the door. It's blonde lady.
Yeah.
Unnamed
blonde lady.
And he's like, hey, special offer for you. But she goes around to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, typed in his real name, too. I can't read it.
Ruggero Diodato.
Ooh. He offers it to him, But he's very busy eating Miroslav's legs.
Mm-hmm.
Very muscly legs, so good for him. But yeah, Stuart offers to pay for her. We don't find out how much he offered to pay for her, but Whitney's now his. So
he goes and he kills her off camera.
Semi-on camera.
Kind of, but not really.
No,
like, as soon as he goes to strike her, that guy stands in front of the screen.
Mm-hmm. So we're painted a little picture of what's going on, but we don't exactly know. But he did probably bludgeon her to death.
Right.
So she's dead. Stuart comes back to goddamn Beth's room, puts Whitney's necklace on her, and he's like, now I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah, he's like, do I seem different? But he starts talking to Beth like she's his wife.
Yeah. And
so she figures out the smartest way out of this situation, which is to be like, your wife doesn't understand you, but I do. I'm scared of you. I can see how strong and scary you are.
I want to kiss you so bad.
Yeah, I want you to kiss me. And so he gets tricked into thinking that he's about to have sex with Beth, and then she headbutts him. And
that's where the headbutt comes in.
Yeah, and she takes control of the situation. And it's from here, it is great stuff. So
I don't know if you're like us, but whenever the violence is deserved, I become not squeamish to it.
I'm very rarely squeamish to violence in the first place, but it becomes fun.
Yeah.
When it's
justified.
Deserved. Yeah. But she takes control of the situation. She knocks out one of the cameras. She ties him up. And then she, all the guards come running in, and she's like, where's Sasha? Bring me Sasha. Mm-hmm. And so Sasha comes in, and she's
Luckily, he's in the office today.
Yeah, he's on site today.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of job you can do from home.
Yeah, meanwhile, she has Stuart's sausage and biscuits I'm
hungry.
In a a pair of scissors.
Yeah, something.
Like some sort of, I like wire cutters maybe.
Yeah. Something sharp.
Yeah. And so Sasha comes in and Beth is like, I want to buy my way out of here. Mm-hmm. I have the money to do it. He's like, you can't afford it. Like, what are you going to do? Call your parents? And she was like, no, asshole, it's my money. And this is where I'm like, what did her mother do? She's like, I have accounts in Sweden. I have accounts in the Isle of Man. I have she's just like listing off all of these places that she has bank accounts. Mm-hmm. So Beth is a fucking billionaire, right?
Yeah, because I just have the one.
I just have the one checking account, and it's
negative.
It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, is there money in there now?
If anybody wants to give me money just for being pretty.
Yeah, I'll leave our Venmos in the description.
Yes. So, Stuart's like, I'll pay double or whatever. And Sasha's like, what, with the second mortgage on your house and your kid's private school tuition? Yeah, and your friend had to pay for you to even, get Beth?
Yeah.
And so he's like, so it's not just about the money, Beth. Like, you have to kill somebody to get out of here. And Beth's like, chill, okay. So she just, cuts his dick, just severs Stuart's dick, rips it out from, rips out the entire cock and balls, and just, throws it to the dog.
But then she also puts the scissors in the hole she made, like a little placeholder.
Yes,
okay, it's a pen cup now.
Yes, exactly. While he's, screaming, and she throws them to the dog, and the dog eats them, and she's like, let him bleed to death. And then she just, keeps walking out. Mm-hmm. And then she gets tattooed with the Elite Hunting Club tattoo.
Of course she does.
She gets it on her lower back.
Every time.
So she gets out, and then we see a harvest festival, and we see Axelle flirting with another girl, which is, how Beth got into this situation in the first place, was, her low-key. Not really that low-key. I feel like they, it's pretty, discussed, like, that she has an attraction to Axelle.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Whitney knew for sure. Maybe not Lorna, but Lorna was gay in real life. Heather Matarazzo's
Is she gay in real life?
Notorious lesbian.
I did not know that.
Been with the same person forever.
Oh, good for her. But anyway, the Bubblegum kids come up and steal Axelle's purse, and they take off with it, and Axelle takes after them, and then a tripwire gets pulled, and she goes down to the ground, and aww.
Very tall.
Yeah. She goes down to the ground, and Beth shows up with a giant axe. Like the biggest axe I've ever seen.
Like
comically
something an orc
large.
would use in Lord of the Rings.
It does look like something. Yeah, it does look like an orc axe. It also it looks like in Mandy, like his giant axe from Mandy. Like, where did she get this?
Oh, we should cover Mandy again.
Just keep covering Mandy.
Yeah.
But like, where did she get this axe? Where did it come from? What's the story with the axe?
She could have borrowed it from the Hunter Club, because I feel like they would have it there.
Borrowed it from.
I feel like she
Hunting
owns it
Club?
now.
Yeah, she was like, I'll buy all these weapons.
Yeah.
I own the Elite Hunting Club now.
Give me that lady's eyeball from the first one.
So she says cheers to Axelle, and then cuts her head off.
Yeah.
And then the kids are like kind of shocked at first, but then they start playing football. They start like playing soccer with. Yeah.
I wrote football, but I meant like football over there.
Like football.
Right. I meant like in the States we call it soccer. So
in the States we call football a game that we use that it's used primarily, like the ball is in hands.
Oh, continuously in hands.
Yeah, you only kick it like once
or twice.
I don't know. Is this how football works?
Oh.
My hair's purple.
Gay.
I don't know these things. My hair is purple. I have thick-rimmed glasses. But anyway, Axelle's dead, and the kids are playing football with her head, and it's poetic justice. And that's the end of Hostel Part 2. Up next is Piper Perabo in Coyote Ugly.
Why, Tubi, do you keep trying to make me watch Ugly Coyote?
Ugly Coyote.
I've now watched this movie twice this month, and both times after the movie is saying, up next, Coyote Ugly. Could you think of anything weirder?
No.
Like, do I like Coyote Ugly? Sure.
Yeah.
I'll watch it if it's on.
Yeah.
Would I put it on purpose? No, probably not, but that's just me. I also wouldn't watch after watching Hostel Part 2.
That's not the vibe. It's not the right vibe.
That's when you go to Cannibal Holocaust.
Right. Or something else terrifying.
The Green Inferno.
Don't do that.
I'm sure I could handle it. I mean,
it's not the gore. It's the fact that it is... I'm sorry, boyfriend of the pod, Eli Roth. It's not a very good movie.
And I don't like the part with the stone.
No. Well, that was directly also from Cannibal Holocaust, but... we'll spoil the Great Inferno another
time. You want to do
time.
Cannibal Holocaust next week?
Okay.
Take that, gay pride. Because Steve's been asking me to watch it for a month. Like months.
Really?
I'm like, well,
I'm in.
We better wait till we get back to it for the podcast. It's on Shudder right now, probably. I'm not guessing. I mean, I am guessing.
Anyways.
Up next is Coyote Ugly.
So that's Hostel Part 2. And every week we like to give you other people's opinions from around the interwebs. So we call it Letterboxd Beat Street.
Oh, we do.
We do indeed. So mine this week comes from Trace Thurman, who gave it 4.5 stars. And said, oh hey, remember when Eli Roth made a feminist horror film with a smart, relatable, and queer final girl and no one talks about it because they write it off as a cheap cash grab? This movie is great, y'all.
Wow, I've ever done the same one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no. Ah!
But I have two. And mine comes from the person I read last week, or whichever week you're listening to this one. I read this person's movie review for the Hostel one we did, but his number one Gizmo fan who gave it 3.5 stars and says, fuck it, I'm adding an extra half star because someone gets their dick cut off for calling a woman a cunt. This movie is incredible.
It is, yeah. Hard Bechdel test pass.
Yeah.
Hard fail on the Duvernay test, though.
Yeah.
Everybody's very white.
Yeah.
A lot of white people.
Middle Europeans.
White.
White.
Idiot's Guide to Gore, it's 5 out of 5.
Yeah, it's gross.
Even on the Chris and Kara scale, it's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, if you don't remember, the gore scale goes to what we would believe would be like a normal person's limit. And then the Chris and Kara scale goes to what would be our limit. To like the people who watch a lot of horror movies. So, this is very gory.
It is very gory.
Top 30, maybe.
Isn't 9 people die in this movie?
Only 9.
Paxton, Lorna, Whitney, Miroslav. We never see Miroslav die, though.
No, he was still alive and they were eating his legs.
Yeah.
I watched a YouTube on it that counted them all out.
Okay. Stuart. So that's 5.
George. No.
Todd. So that's 6.
Axelle. Did you already get her?
No, I did not. Axelle. And then were there like guards or something?
I don't know. We'll have to. Maybe the woman doing the makeup bled to death. Guys, if you don't like how I do my job, then do it yourself.
Idiot's Guide to How Scary It Was. I guess it depends.
I just watched it with your mother and I'm not very afraid.
My mother was there giving off mom vibes. Yeah.
It cheered me up.
Yeah. So...
Maybe like a 1.5, how scary it was?
I would say, like, I guess it depends on what you're scared of. I guess, like, as we said last time, scary is subjective.
Yeah.
If, like, what scares you is the concept of, like, traveling. If you're, like, dumb enough to be like, yes, I will change my travel plans to go to a hot spring with you, hot, sexy lady. Like, then maybe change who you are as a person, but also this movie might be a little bit scarier for you.
I feel like, okay, for me, this movie is not scary at all. It
Right.
is just gross. Like, scary for me is, like, The Night House.
Yeah.
Which, that suicide note's still in my head, guys. It is constantly just going through it. You were right. Nothing is after you.
It's sad. There is nothing. Yeah. So, you ready to get our keys?
Oh, yeah.
Every week on Idiot's Guide to Horror, we like to imagine that we have been given the keys to remake or reboot the film that we are talking about, at which point we decide what we would keep because we think it is flawless, and what we would throw the fuck out the second we got the chance because we think it is trash. So this week for you, Chris, what was flawless?
Excel's nipples. No.
Those beautiful, perfect CGI areolas.
Which we saw for less than 1 frame. But whatever. I liked the plot compared to the original one. I felt like I knew what was going on. Where the first one, it felt like the first one, the plot made me feel like I was the character in the movie, and everything was happening to me right as it was happening to them. Right. This one was more narrative, and I enjoy that.
It is, like, it has more narrative flow to it, for sure. I definitely agree with that. I do think that this is, like, a stronger plot structure. I think we also have stronger characters.
100%.
They're more well-rounded. I'm more interested in them.
Yeah, do I miss Oli from the first one? No.
No, I don't miss Oli. I didn't miss Oli the minute he died.
I don't miss Paxton now.
Well, yeah, you don't have to.
No, but I do miss Lorna.
Yeah, well, we all do. Anyway, what else?
Oh, Beth, like, overall, as a final girl, great. Her fortitude, I'm making up words here.
Fortitude that's a word.
Her stick-with-itness, her ability to be a billionaire, good for her.
Her ability to be a billionaire is that's tight. Yeah. I do like Beth as a final girl, because she is smart. She is resourceful. She spends most of the movie trying to hide the fact that she has this immense wealth, which I think is interesting. Like, you know, we only hear about it in, like, a gossipy moment from Whitney to Lorna, because Beth tries to hide it. But when she knows that this is, like, it is her power. Her currency is her literal currency.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she tries to use her body as currency. Like, she uses all of her resources in that moment to get out of the situation. She uses her brain to outwit him and, like, make him think that, like, she's attracted to him. She then uses her body to lure him away from, like, the situation. And then she uses her money to cap it all off and get the hell out.
And she uses her scissors.
She does use her scissors as well. So she's smart and strong and queer, and it's really surprising that this came from Eli Roth, because the first movie is such, like, just a cesspool of, like, weird misogyny, even though, like, he frames it as, like, oh, these guys, like, treated women like objects, and then, like, they got what they deserved because they didn't see that these women had more substance and there was, like, something wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, like, it kind of makes sense, right?
Sure, yeah.
Right, but if he hadn't spent, like, the first hour, like, using the camera lens to sexualize women,
right.
I would, like, maybe buy into that a little bit more. Not to say that I don't love the first Hostel, because I do. But in this one, he corrects those wrongs by, like, giving us, like, Whitney and Lorna both, like, Lorna is the sweet angel, but all we really know about her is that she's kind of flighty.
Naive.
Yeah, naive, virtuous. And then Whitney is, like, the polar opposite.
But on the other hand of that, in this movie, we have strong female protagonists, but they all do get brutally tortured.
They do get brutally tortured, but, like...
Because in the first one, there were no women being brutally tortured except for, the ones who deserved it.
That's the only thing that we really see that's really awful, though, that happens to the women, is what happens to Lorna.
Correct.
We don't really see what happens to Whitney. Like, I mean, we see what happens to her before when she's still alive, when he, like, accidentally rips her hair out. But when she actually dies, she dies off camera.
You're right.
So, like, he kind of, like, lets them die with more dignity than the original film allows for. The victims in the original film, there isn't a lot of dignity.
I want you all to go to your Letterboxd reviews and change them all then.
So, also, like, this idea of, like, subverting, like, the nice guy trope of, like, Stuart being like, I'm not that guy, and then it turns out that he actually just is that guy, and it only takes, like, a hair, like, just away. He's always just a hair away from snapping and being like, never mind, I do hate women, I do want to fucking kill you. That is the scariest part of this to me, because I feel like that is, in general, like, there is a lot of that out there that is, like, a very, like, sneaky and covert type of misogynist man that very much exists and that, like, we run into every day. The man that's like, I'm good, I'm pure of heart, I'm nice, my intentions are fantastic, but then they are always just one Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial away from showing their true fucking colors. Do not come for me.
Give her that scarf back. Oh, different story.
So yeah, if you could change something, what would it be?
Well, I don't want to sound mean, but I would have rather had Whitney get scythed to death and let me have Lorna for a little bit longer in this movie, because she is so pure, and I love Heather Matarazzo.
Yeah.
Bijou Phillips can bite a big one.
I do wish that both Lorna and Whitney were fleshed out a little bit more as characters. Like, we do have a fully well-rounded character in Beth. We do have, like, a character development arc with Beth. But
even Stuart has, like, a full character development.
Yeah. But, like, Whitney and Lorna are, like, this, like, angel-devil, like, combination of, like, the two different sides of, like, Beth's personality. And it's like, well, why can't all of these women be, like, fully well-rounded characters? I don't see any reason why they can't be.
Eli
you have
Roth
enough
was
time.
Very busy.
He was very busy. He was becoming the Bear Jew at that point. Probably.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Inglourious Basterds, I think it's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
It's his masterpiece. I will say that it's his masterpiece, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah, she likes Kill Bill. The whole
I
bloody
do
affair.
indeed. I do indeed. But yeah, I would change that. I also don't necessarily, I don't know, I feel like we could have, like, what I think is, I forgot to mention this, what I also think is handled perfectly in this movie is Beth's queerness.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not, like, a big fucking deal that
Right.
she's, like, we don't even know really, like, is she, like, a lesbian? Is she bisexual? Is she just attracted to Axelle? But, like...
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We
Yeah.
just know that she's queer, and that's what, like, leads her,
Mm-hmm.
like, down this path. And by the end of it, like, she's a stronger person. But, I do feel like there are parts of, like, Axelle, like, her attraction to Axelle specifically, that felt, like, distinctively male.
Yeah, because Axelle is a supermodel.
Yeah.
And it's like the kind of thing that if you... What was that movie with the gay sex scene that was not directed by a man?
Disobedience?
No, it was from that movie where she's a blonde spy and she rips off Ian McGregor's arm. I don't know what I'm talking about.
The one with Charlize Theron?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. It's Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
Go watch those two ladies do it. Spoiler alert. It only got 3. Guys, watch Atomic... My recommendation for this week is to go watch Atomic Blonde.
We're not there yet.
Oh, it's directed by a man.
Yeah.
Wow, it didn't feel like it to me.
But yeah, her attraction to Axelle is, like,
It
very...
was James McAvoy. He ripped his arm off. Spoiler.
It's very male.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, like, she's, like, kind of, like, ogling her, and, you know, we don't really know anything about her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like she's like, I love her personality. She's just, like,
I
boobs
love
now.
whoever's nipples those are.
Yeah. Which doesn't feel...
I'm putting that in the notes.
realistic. So what do you rate it?
Oh, did I rate it on here?
You did not.
Damn it. I thought I'd have more
You gotta
time.
rate it in real time. Rate it now.
Okay.
Did
Okay.
your notes say B. Ouija Phillips?
Yeah. Okay.
Ouija board Phillips.
What did I give the last one? A 2? 2.5?
I think you gave it 2.5, which I found very surprising.
This movie, Hostel Part... Wait, I can just look at mine. Oh, guys, you're all so dumb. I had to have thought this out before. So I've rated Hostel Part 2 3.5 stars out of 5. It is, in my opinion only, superior to the first one. It might be the second best movie he's ever done after Cabin Fever.
I do think it is superior to the first one. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I think that it is fantastic. I think that it corrects all of the issues that I had with the first one,
Mhm.
and I like the first one a lot, despite its issues. So
I hate the Achilles heel scene.
I don't mind any of, like, the gore in Hostel aside from the eyeball scene, but what bothers me about Hostel is the original Hostel is the first hour of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate the first hour of Hostel.
And that mole Alexi has is fake. He doesn't really have that mole.
That's
Googled
very
him.
weird. That's very, very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that's our talk on Hostel Part 2. You can tell us what you thought about it. And before we go, every week we like to give you our non-horror recommendations. I'm going to open this up with a statement.
Oh.
As a haver of a uterus, yesterday was the day that the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. My recommendation this week is to breathe and take care of yourself and get ready. I know that you're upset. I know that you're outraged. I mean, if you are, some of you.
I don't know what to tell you.
If you're not, please just shut the fuck up. Stop listening to me. I don't want you here. But I know that you're outraged. I know that you're tired. I know that you're scared. I know that you're sad. I know because I'm all of those things too. And I know that everything feels hopeless right now. So I just recommend that you take care of yourself because we have a long road ahead. And this thing isn't over. There's more of us than there are of them. And yeah, just take care of yourself. Just be good to yourself. And I also recommend that the Supreme Court, 5 out of the justices, 5 of the justices that voted for this to be overturned, I recommend that you go fuck yourselves hard.
And I hope that my recommendation is for Clarence Thomas and his wife. No, I can't threaten somebody.
No, not on air, but I mean, I'm just going to say this. There's information that is easily available right now. And since this decision is going to kill people, morality is a gray area right now. That's my recommendation.
Oh, damn it. Mine are all, Beyonce. If you haven't heard of Beyonce...
that Beyonce song is amazing.
It's the only one... I don't like much Beyonce. No offense. I'm sorry to every Beyonce fan. But I listen to every song she puts out because I'm gay and I have to, legally. Mm-hmm. And I put on this one and I said, hey, I like that.
Right.
Which doesn't happen for me a lot since formation.
That's also... Sorry, I wanted to add one more recommendation. Donate to abortion funds in states that are already working to overturn their abortion laws. Donate to abortion funds there. Find the abortion funds in states where it is legal that help people from out of states enter the state in order to have abortions. Donate to those. You don't need to donate to just everybody's donating to Planned Parenthood right now. Donate to the grassroots stuff. Planned Parenthood is important. There is going to be a huge demand and there is going to be a time and place for us to help them. But I highly, highly recommend that you do some research into grassroots organizations that are providing on-the-ground resources right now.
And if you work for companies like Netflix or Apple or DoorDash or... Probably not Hobby Lobby. That was a joke. I'm very excited. They will pay for you to go take care of that out of state.
Dick's Sporting Goods will pay $4,000 to their employees for if they need an out-of-state abortion.
Do you hear that, Apple? How much are you paying?
And so many companies are afraid to use the word abortion right now. They're saying women's care or reproductive care. And Dick's Sporting Goods was we will give you $4,000 for an out-of-state abortion. We will give you the time off to get an abortion. So yeah, that's another recommendation. Work for Dick's Sporting Goods. Apparently they're great.
Yeah. Plus everything else I recommended earlier today. Also today, the day we're recording this, is the day after Midsommar, so watch Midsommar.
Yes, still holds up.
I'm wearing this shirt. I thought today was the 24th. It was yesterday.
It's fine. They don't know. We could have said it was the 24th.
Today's the 24th, guys.
It's the 24th.
It's the 24th.
Happy Midsommar.
Happy Midsommar. Skull!
Anyway, you can email us questions, comments, recommendations to idiotsguidetohorror@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram @idiotsguidetohorror. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/horroridiots. Rate our podcast on iTunes to help other horror movie fans find us, unless they are anti-choice, at which point I would like to just seriously, I don't care about my numbers, go fuck yourself. This is not for you anymore.
Just play them the last 10 minutes of this podcast.
And, as always, be your own kind of film, bro.
And fuck the Supreme Court.
That's... Bye.